Nkamhoua is intriguing in this way. If they were to get Olivier Nkamhoua, he's my 4-man, Tim.
So what do you tell Trey Jackson? Trey Jackson just committed
Hey,
to you coming
I hear
home.
you. I hear you. I mean, you both will play. You both will play. But man, what I
What do you
saw,
say? What about Terrence Williams then? What do you say to him?
I mean, you have some minutes. Look, competition, iron sharpens iron, as they say. And Nkamhoua's offensive versatility is on a level even beyond Trey Jackson's. I watched him in that Duke game, Tim, in the Sweet 16. And man, this dude was lethal from the mid-range.
I saw him kill Texas.
Yeah, I mean, he shoots three. He doesn't shoot a lot of threes, but the threes that he does shoot, he shoots them at a good clip, right? So he's also on the glass too. He's a strong-bodied defender, gives you some athleticism and some rebounding in there. I just think he's more complete right now than Trey Jackson. So Trey Jackson still plays a crucial and pivotal role to you. I think the guy who would suffer the most in that dynamic would be T. Will, where now he's getting probably the leftover minutes from those two, and then trying to squeeze some minutes in at the 3 spot. Right. So
that's what I would hope. But still, he's your captain and he's shown loyalty to the program, and it's a cutthroat business these days. It really is.
Look, they're recruiting Olivier Nkamhoua even if Papa Kante comes. So clearly they are not just taking a pass, saying they're doing everything they can to improve the competition on the roster and ultimately its productivity. Now, Yohan is a bit different in that that's purely a 5. There was some talk in high school that Yohan could play the 4. And you remember at the top 100 camp, he took a few threes, right? And he actually looked comfortable taking a few threes, but that's not his game per se. What I like about him, Tim, is he is the Energizer Bunny. Whether it's, in the half court, on the glass, running the floor, he's going to be a finisher. He's going to be an outstanding defender. He's going to be a jackrabbit. But, offensively, I think we have to wait to see. He's a more athletic piece to the puzzle than Papa Kante would be. And obviously a more experienced piece to the puzzle than Papa Kante would be. So you would feel better about your backup center situation if it were Yohan Traore compared to, say, a Papa Kante.
Yeah, and I will say this, that for Traore, he averaged 2 points a game at Auburn. That's not an easy place for a big man to play. They've got guards that Walker Kessler is the best rookie big man in the NBA, and he did almost nothing at Auburn. Like that's a tough place for big men to play. So
good for Walker. I'm a Walker fan.
Yeah. So it's really interesting, Sam. It really is. And next time we get together, we're gonna say, "Wow, I missed on that one," or "But that was a great cut." Like we're throwing darts up against the board.
Yeah. So here's a question for you, Tim. Let's say you had your pick. Now they're further down the runway, if you will, with Nkamhoua. They just had a Zoom with him. That hasn't happened with Yohan Traore yet, but it sounds like that might possibly be in the works. I know there's been contact with Yohan Traore, but here you have a guy who is going into his second year in college, clearly on the early end of his development. You got to feel like if you're Juwan Howard, you can really mold that guy. Nkamhoua is without question a better player right now, would be a more significant contributor right now, but you only have him 1 year. Which way would you go if you were the king of the force, if you were Juwan Howard, Tim, and you could choose?
It's nearly an impossible scenario because Juwan has to get the best talent he can. The truth is, there are guys that are going to become available on the portal where you'd love to have an extra spot to pick them up. After they go to summer school and finish up their degree, a lot of players are going to do that. You may have access to players that are better than the ones you've taken and fit your system, and you might have them longer. I don't know what the best strategy is, But the fact that Trey Jackson committed to Michigan a little bit earlier than Nkamhoua, that's a tough one because you've already made a commitment to the guys in your program and the guys that have already committed to you. I think your hands are somewhat tied.
So you would go Traore.
No, I wouldn't.
So
I
you would go count. So you wouldn't do either then.
No, I wouldn't do either.
Ah, I gotcha. I gotcha.
Now, if I mean, what happens if you take Nkamhoua and you've already got Jackson and Terrace Reed's your center and Papa Kante gets into school and Hunter Dickinson says, yeah, I'm back, guys. What do you do then? You've got 6 or 7 guys at the 4 and the 5.
Hey, that's what coaches get paid the big bucks for, right?
You're
That's
right.
what they get millions of dollars for, right? To figure that out. Remember that going back to the beginning of this podcast when we were talking about all the problems they said Jim Larinaga was going to have with Nigel Pack coming in, and he got all this big money from the NIL dude down there. I can't remember, Ruiz, I think is his name, from Life Wallet. And Isaiah Wong comes up and says, wait a minute, this dude wasn't even with this squad. And he's getting more than me? No, I'm not with that. That's a problem. I need more. And the Life Wallet guy says, no, I got to deal with you already done. You stay with what you got. I'm not renegotiating your deal. And the deal I got with Pack is the deal I have with Pack. Seems like a recipe for disharmony, right? Jim Larinaga figured that out. So my point is, I'm not saying it's easy. I'm not saying it's a given. I'm saying these dudes paid a lot of money to figure out those kinds of problems.
Yeah. I just think there's a problem having too many big guys. And
I hear you.
yeah.
I'm not discounting. Tim, you know basketball. You know more basketball than you forgot more basketball than I know. So I'm not saying that you're wrong. Yeah, absolutely. It would be an issue. It would be a problem. I call it a good problem to have to figure out, especially compared to last year where you didn't have enough guys.
But I think that if you look at this team, let's talk a little bit about what the lineup looks like. I think that they're definitely better on defense, especially on the perimeter. Improved depth at every spot, especially the point guard. A massive concern about my perimeter shooting as a team. I think that would be a huge issue.
Yeah.
I think that there'll be a bigger, stronger, tougher, grittier team inside. The biggest question I would have, though, how's the chemistry? Because college basketball is guard driven, and big guys are not as important in the game today. So if you've got 5 big guys that are all really good and capable, how do you split up those minutes? I just don't see a jumbo look being effective nowadays.
Hey, so another question for you. I know we got to get out of here because we're running long. Let's say Hunter, as he looks around, NIL is better chance to win. He thinks a championship is better someplace else, and he goes. If you got a Nkamhoua, could you play Nkamhoua at the 5?
Absolutely.
Would he be your 5? And what I mean, let me be more specific. Could Nkamhoua be your 5 as the starter, and you bring Terrace off the bench?
So I think that Trey Jackson played some center at Seton Hall, didn't he? And that might be a good option too. And then Nkamhoua's your 4-man.
Mm-hmm.
I like that.